y'all. I'm Kristen Robbins, and this is my YouTube channel, or TikTok, or something. I don't know where I'm posting this. I wanted to kind of document my journey because I'm going through it, man. I'm going through it right now. I've gone through it before. Different things, different situations in life, all feels the same, all shitty. And you know what? I wish I had somebody on the journey with me. So if you're going through some shit that is making you feel not like yourself, like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, no one in sight, just know you are not alone. We've all been through it or are going through it at some point in our life. And follow me, and we will be on this road together. So I think my intention here, even though it feels real shitty, and I've been a negative Nancy, and to be quite frank, a bit of a nightmare for my family to deal with. My poor daughter and husband, they are saints, because I am just at times batshit crazy, because I just can't handle this very well, and I'm a panicker. I guess I'm a bit of an alarmist, as I've been called, and got a lot of trauma behind me. So I'm going to tell you that my intention here is to flip that and get out of that energy. So as much as this is for you, it's for me as well, to kind of deal with what is going on in a more positive way. So I was passing some people at the state park here in Wawayanda State Forest in New Jersey. This is literally my backyard. I'm so blessed to live here. But anywho, I was a little embarrassed to talk in front of them. So yeah, let's go on this journey together. I'm going to tell you what's going on specifically with me. And gosh, this is like, I had no idea before this happened that it was such a common occurrence and that like it was even a thing. So at the beginning of the summer, I just had this like strong intuition, and I'm going to preface this, I've always had health anxiety and am a bit of a hypochondriac. Okay, maybe a lot. So it's tough for people to take you seriously, but I had this just like intuition that there was something in my house. Like we had found mice droppings, and our AC, our HVAC was not working. It was beginning to get hot out. My daughter's birthday was coming. We were having a sleepover, so we had to get some air conditioning in the house before her party. So we had, excuse me, it's cold out here. My nose is a little runny. So we had brought down the window units because we can't afford to replace the HVAC just yet. And we weren't going to get somebody in for repairs before her birthday. So we took one of the window units out of the attic where we found mouse trappings, and he put it in the window, and unbeknownst to me, did not clean it. So there's probably mouse pee on it, mouse poo, who knows? And this is like right after the whole Gene Hackman thing. I don't know if you know the story. Like they found him and his wife dead in their home. And they figured out that it's because she was his caregiver, and she had died from hantavirus, which is a virus found in mouse droppings and urine. Yeah, so of course, being the hypochondriac that I am, that's where my mind went, because we live in an area with lots of field mice, and those are the mice who carry it. So the AC was on. I slept in the room with the AC with my daughter, and I was sneezing and runny nose and all that and coughing for like over a week. So of course I was convinced that I had hantavirus. So I took my daughter and we went to the hospital and got tested for it. Never really got the results, but whatever. We're alive, so I guess we're okay. But then I just had this overwhelming feeling of like, what else is in my house that could potentially make us sick? And I had started like really reading about indoor air quality, all that stuff. So I had my house inspected for mold. They found, and this inspector was very thorough, thank God. First one wasn't. He wanted to blow things off and give us the cheap way out. And I was not satisfied with that. I said, yo, our health and safety comes first. Yeah, we are not rich and we don't want to spend a fortune, but let's not leave any stone unturned. So whatever, I got this other guy listening to my intuition, or was it my paranoia? I don't know. But it was really strong and I couldn't ignore it. And he found some visible stuff in the typical places, crawl space, attic. I think there was some in the garage. And when he went around with the moisture meter, he found a high moisture level on the exterior wall of my office, which was so unexpected. I never thought in a million years it'd be in there, but I had been smelling some snow. It's getting pretty snowing, by the way. Sorry. Okay. So I didn't know. I honestly didn't know anything about mold. I didn't know that musty smells meant there was mold. I just thought, I don't know, that I had old paperwork from my grandmother's house because it smelled like her house in there. And that was contributing to the smell. So anyway, I didn't expect that. I spend most of my days there when I am on lunch for business. I'm a certified health and life coach, and I am a struggle with binge eating disorder. And so I would spend sometimes 14 hours a day in my office, working on lunches, sessions with clients, all that stuff. So sometimes even more than that. In the room with the toxic mold. Now, it wasn't just any old mold, but it was Stachybotrys, and beneath me, in the crawl space, or right beneath me, where the air was coming in through the floors, was Chaetomium. 2 zero tolerance toxic molds. And I am so grateful that I didn't have worse symptoms. But yeah, so this happened, whatever. I don't want to get in, I'm giving a lot of details. I'm sorry. It's the ADHD. Sometimes I really get into the details. So anyway, we found it. We had it remediated. And that's when I had no idea. I had no idea about CIRS, which is chronic inflammatory response syndrome. I had no idea that there's like a 25% of people, I don't know if that's worldwide or in the US, have the genes for this. So you're susceptible to having this inflammatory response to mold and other environmental toxins. I didn't know it was a thing. And still, while our home was being remediated, and we were staying with a friend for a little while, and then we were moving from hotel to hotel because we couldn't book long term because our insurance was reimbursing us. They weren't putting up the money as we went. So they weren't putting up the money in advance or anything like that. And so unless you book long term in a extended stay hotel, they boot your ass out if they have prior bookings. And I get that. So moving from hotel to hotel and going back and forth from our friend's house, I learned that, wow, so many buildings have water damage and mold or potential mold. And that's fucking crazy. The air quality is so poor, and nobody, it seems like so few people are aware of the importance of indoor air quality, and they're not aware of their own indoor air quality. So this whole time I'm starting to panic because I'm like, man, I'm the one who is in that room all the time. Who knows where else it was in my house? I need to go see a functional medicine doctor, right? Because I learned that regular doctors don't really pay attention to mold illness. They don't know much about it. I don't know if they even recognize CIRS as being an actual diagnosis. But they certainly don't know how to treat it. So, my doctor's like, oh, sorry, you're going to have to see a functional medicine doctor, which are not covered by insurance. The testing and stuff can be, many of them don't even, so you can't even access your HSA funds because there's no diagnosis code for them to be properly rejected by your insurance company. getting into all the details here, but this could be good information for anyone who is dealing with this. Okay, went through that. And as we're staying and moving around from hotel to hotel, some of them were nightmares, smelly, dirty, still whatever. Another thing, right? Stressful. With 2 dogs, mind you, a child and my husband and myself. So that, the dogs were like another obstacle in getting like a nicer room for like allergy sensitive people. Not nicer, but like a more allergy aware room, which is what you definitely need. So then I became more and more sensitive as I'm stressing out more and more, and just totally wreaked havoc on my health. Like, I felt okay when we left our house. I felt physically pretty good. I had symptoms, but I didn't know what they were, and I had been having them for like 5 years. And now it all made sense as I started researching and going down this rabbit hole of mold illness, CIRS, which I found out about, joining these Facebook groups, which was not the best idea because they just scare the shit out of you. And, they're all like the number one thing. The first thing you have to do, can't do anything else until you get out of exposure. Well, that is easier said than done because, as I mentioned, so many buildings, actually 50%, 1 in 2 buildings in the U.S. is water damaged and has mold and other irritants and toxins and VOCs. Oh my gosh. So the stress of that, feeling like everywhere I went, every building that I stayed in, especially if I had to sleep there, was potentially harmful to me. Just made me feel worse and worse. I wasn't sleeping, and it just